Welcome back, everybody, to the Search Show 24/7. This is season 2, episode 20 of Arrow, entitled "Seeing Red." And right off the bat, guys, let me just say I apologize for not doing the last 2 reviews. I was on like a quick, little mini vacation, had to take care of some things, so I just didn't have time to kind of put my videos up and stuff. So I apologize for that. But I'm back. Let's get into this episode, "Seeing Red." A fantastic episode, my favorite episode out of the series. I thought this episode was not only a good episode for a superhero genre TV show, but as a TV show in general, I thought it was just great writing, great storytelling, great acting. Overall, just my favorite episode in the Arrow series. Just everything about it worked so well. Everything came as a surprise. Everything felt organic. Everything, it just took me by surprise. I was shocked. I was scared. I was nervous. Just a lot of things, just a lot of emotions. And when you have a TV show that can do that, then you know you have a good TV show. Then you know you have great writing. So this episode, I went through a lot of of an emotional roller coaster. Now, getting into this episode now. This episode really has to do with kind of Roy and trying to, they're trying to just contain him right now because after last week's episode, he's kind of gone off the deep end a little bit. The Miracle has basically just taken over his body to where he's not thinking straight. He's seeing like imaginary person, just like how Slade is seeing Shadow. He's seeing like Thea, but Thea is not actually there. So he's really getting taken over by this Miracle, and it makes just for great confrontation with Oliver and Sarah because they just have two different opinions about the situation. Oliver, he still has that glimmer of hope that he can save Roy, but Sarah's like, yo, Roy is no more. Like, he's slapping my friends, he's killing cops and stuff. So she feels like he needs to just take a bullet in the head right now. So I like that that difference between those two because it pays off towards the end, and I like things like that pay off and you kind of see the differences, and because Oliver, he says it that Sarah reminds him of how he was when he first came back to Starling City, like no hope at all, just just very dead in the soul and stuff. So he sees that in Sarah, and he wants to try to save Sarah too. And that's just a big thing that Oliver has been going through this entire second season, is trying to save people's soul and trying to find the good qualities and people who have a lot of darkness. And I like that in his character. But man, he went through a lot this episode. He went through a lot. But side note, let's get this big thing out the way real quick. Myra Queen, girl, past Myra Queen is fantastic, gorgeous, beautiful. I mean, she is so hot. She deserves a Doritos Jack. Can I gotta do it. Ow. She's that hot. I mean, it's ridiculous how hot she is. She deserves a Doritos Jack. It's crazy. It's crazy. Now, what I liked about the past sequences and stuff this episode is you get to learn a little bit more about Myra and what she will do to protect her children and stuff like that. You get a lot of character development with her, and I thought it was just very good. I think she needed that as a character. I think it just gave you just a little bit more about her, and I just really liked it. You find out just during the past that Oliver has a kid running around. That happened. Like, he has a kid somewhere. When he cheated on Laura, he has a kid somewhere in this universe. Like, he's got like a little Artemis running around. So that's got to come back some way. I mean, that needs to come back some way. So I thought that was just very interesting. I love the fact that they put that in there. Like I said, just a lot of emotions in this episode. Like, I was very surprised when I heard that he's got a kid, and how Myra played a part in and her trying to cover that up to protect her son's image and stuff like that. So I thought that was really, really cool. So yeah, it was just crazy that just everything that happened in this like this episode. So what else I really enjoyed about this episode is you have more of Thea. Like I said, this episode had a lot of character development. Thea gets a good character development. She gets a great moment because she's still going through like her trials and tribulations with the whole finding out about the Malcolm thing, and people lying to her, and her dealing with the whole Roy situation. So you see that she's trying to just cope with everything, and like she's just tired and she's fed up, and just everything is like getting to her. So you have that great moment with her, and it just I think it all just pays off like towards the end of this episode. Um, the fight sequences was just really really good. Like Oliver, I guess he broke his leg and stuff. When he fought Roy, that was really good. When Sarah really finds out and she understands that she can't be who Oliver wants her to be, because she's just too far gone in the darkness, and she realizes that, and she loves Oliver too much that she has to distance herself from that, and she just takes off, and so she's gone. So maybe she went back to the League of Shadows or the League of Assassins. I don't know what they call. I think it's League of Assassins. And maybe she went back to Nessa. You don't know, but she says she's going back to see her old friend. So I think it's Nessa. I think she's just going to go back with the Assassins because she probably fits more with that whole group and stuff. So maybe that's just it for her this season, and we might see her in season 3. I don't know, but I'm excited that what they're taking with the route they're taking Sarah in, I think is really really good. The only thing I didn't like about it is that it leaves room for Laurel to come back into like the love picture, and I'm starting to like Laurel now. And so that's really good, but I don't want to see Laurel with Oliver. I don't think they mesh well together in a relationship. So it just takes that out, just a little air out of that for me when Sarah left. So I'm not excited that it could be a potential Laurel like back in like love thing with Oliver. So that being said, whatever. Now let's get into like the crazy part of this episode, and that comes, Arrow. The one thing I like about Arrow is they always sneak up something crazy towards the end, and you never see it coming. And I need to start learning that something crazy is always going to happen like the last 5 minutes. And man, this is just no exception. Like the last 5 minutes of this episode is it's just pure like craziness. And that full circle, I was talking about earlier, like how everything just comes back around to Oliver, and which is fascinating because going through this episode, I was like, man, this episode is really, really good, and it's no Slade in here, and that's crazy because usually I'm in love with all the episodes that Slade's in, and this is what I'm thinking in my head. And they're just in the car chilling and stuff, talking, and then they just pow, the whole crash and stuff, and it just happens so fast. Everything just happens so fast, and when Oliver kind of wakes up from like that daze, he's tied up. His sister, his mom are tied up, and I'm like, oh, is that Slade? And I immediately knew what was about to happen. I was like, it's about to come back around to Oliver and the whole Shadow and Sarah situation, and how he had to pick. I immediately knew what was about to happen, so I just jumped out of my seat with like my Doritos in my hand, just munching away, like, oh my God, I know what's about to happen. And it was just so intense, and man, like everything about Slade, um, and how Manu, the actor Manu Bennett, how he portrays him is just so intense, just so believable. Like I love that character. Like I don't want him to die. Like I think I've said this like past few weeks. I'm kind of rooting for Slade for some reason. I know it's terrible to say, but I'm more rooting for him to like just not die. Like I want Oliver to beat him, but I don't want Oliver to kill him because I want him to come back like more and more, like for countless different seasons. Because he's just that good. It's just this whole intense scene where Oliver really has to choose between his sister and his mother, and Slade's got the gun in his hand, and Oliver's like, no, no, I'm not choosing. And then Myra, she stands up, and I'm like, oh, okay, she's gonna stand up. and then for a second, and for a second, you think that, oh, Slade's not gonna kill her because she kind of talked to Slade. So you know everybody's gonna live to fight another day. You know, so you know you're thinking about that. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, oh, this is my worst nightmare about to come true. Like my biggest fear in life, or the one thing I don't trust in life is a person wearing a long trench coat. I don't trust people wearing long trench coats. You know why? Because they can have a sword. I've always thought that people with like long coats, I don't trust them. I don't want them around me because they can have like something that's crazy, like a bazooka, a bomb, a sword, and it's just my worst fear came true. Slade has a long trench coat on. He puts the gun away, but he takes out that dang on sword like it's nothing. And oh man, just a heartbreaking moment. You know, just very heartbreaking. And just to see like Thea like just break down, and Oliver's just in total shock that he kind of passes out. It was just great acting by everybody involved in that whole scene. Just great acting by everybody. Like you felt the emotion. Everything was intense. Your heart was on the edge of its seat. That's what I like about this show. That's why I tell people like, yo, you need to watch this show because it's good. It's really good, and that's for a superhero TV show. It's just really good. So overall, I enjoyed this episode throughout. My favorite episode by far. What do you guys think about this episode? Please like this video, comment, subscribe. Tell me what you thought. What do you think is going to happen with Sarah? What do you think Oliver's going to do now? What do you think Thea's going to do? What is everything going to happen? Before Slade left, he said one more person has to die. That's what he said. One more person has to die before this is all over. So who do you think that's going to be? So please like this video, comment, subscribe. Tell me what you thought. And as always, this is the Search Show 24/7. Be easy.